Congratulations! You've learned the basics of easing into yoga. Practice lesson 6 ongoing when you no longer need instructions for the postures you've already learned in lesson 6. Enjoy your yoga practice. Take one of your blankets from the way it comes off the stack. Now, Ann, you're going to go back to the chair chest opener. Take the blanket from the way it comes off the stack, and from the long end, roll the blanket. And this blanket needs to go a little further down on your non-skid mat. Not up at the top, but a little maybe on the first third of the non-skid mat. And then you'll take another blanket from the way it comes off the stack and fold it in thirds from the short end. And that you can set to the side for a moment. So watch for a moment. What's going to happen here is you'll sit pretty close to the end of your non-skid mat. Don't do this yet, just watch. You'll lower down first. And you'll take the top of the shoulder blades onto the roll. And then you're going to support your neck and head and push yourself over. And as you push yourself over, drag your shoulder tips towards your buttock bones. And it may be that your head will go down or your hiney will go down, but not both. And that's okay. If that happens, you're going to take this blanket and put it under your head. Okay? And then after a bit, if you're okay with that, one leg will stretch out, the other leg will stretch out. This position with the arms is the first position till your spine gets used to what's going on, gets used to this blanket in the center of the thoracic spine. Then this is a little bit more, and then this is a little bit more. So as we're here for a little while, you guys will progress through that. So lie a good distance ahead of the roll towards the end of your non-skid mat. Interlace your fingers behind your neck and head. And you want the roll to start in the top of the shoulder blades. You got it. Interlace your fingers behind your neck and head, Ed. Keep your knees bent while you're coming into this and your elbows up towards the ceiling. Elbows up towards the ceiling. Bring both elbows up towards the ceiling. Press your feet into the floor and drag your shoulder blade tips towards your buttock bones. As you come over the roll, try to drag your shoulder blades and back towards your buttock bones. Elbows up. So Ed, you can walk yourself a little further over the roll, just a little bit more. Lee, you're just about there. Jessica, you're there. Beryl, you're absolutely there. Kevin, you're there. Then try to bring your buttock bones down and or the center of the back of your head. So Ed, look straight up at the ceiling. Right now you're looking back. There you go. So Ed, what you'll do is grab one of your blankets and bring that under your head. How's that going for you, Lee?
Feels good.
Yeah, are buttock bones down yet? Are you there yet?
Coming down.
Yeah, and then maybe in a bit you'll get the center of the back of the head. Yeah, there you go. Good, you okay there, Ed? Yeah. And then as you're there for a bit, you can take the elbows out to the sides. And if you're doing okay here, you can take your arms out to the side or up overhead. Ed, can you look a little bit more up towards the ceiling for me? There you go. Good. Now, if everything's going well here, you're not feeling strained in any way. I mean, there is a little bit of the center spine between your shoulder blades is coming in. So I'm sure you're feeling that. I'm sure you're feeling a sense of opening in the front of the chest. But if it seems like you could go a little bit further, then slide one foot out so that one leg is straight. If you think that's not going to be good for you, don't do that. And then slide the other leg out. That increases the arch of the spine a little bit. Can you guys feel that? Makes it just a little bit more. So bend your knees. Interlace your fingers behind your neck and head. Now, Ed, you're going to need to slide that blanket under your head away from there. So can you just grab it and slide it out from there? Push it away. There you go. Keep going. There you go. Now interlace your fingers behind your neck and head. Good. Take your elbows up towards the ceiling and crawl over the roll. Walk your feet closer to your buttock bones. Your shoulders come more and more over the roll. You keep going. And pretty soon your shoulders are going to wind up on the floor. And then maybe you get just a little bit further. When your head is on the floor, when your shoulders are on the floor, keep your elbows up, Ed. Elbows up, Lee. When your head's on the floor and your shoulders are on the floor, so you got more space to come over, Ed. Then pick your backside up and take the roll out from underneath you. So Ed, I think you're going to have to come over more to get that out from underneath you. Good, and then you can bring your hands out from behind your head and just rest there for a moment. Good, and then with knees bent, roll onto your right side and use your hands and arms to sit yourself up. What I'd like you to do now is to put a blanket on your mat if you want to, or if you're fine with just the mat, that's fine. So Ed, you usually need some support underneath your head. I'm going to take one, maybe two. We'll see how it looks on you today. So if you'll lie on your back. Okay, I think I want a half, Ed. Here we go, try that. See, you have a tendency to do this. I want you to do that. You feel the difference? Mm-hmm. So this actually cranks your neck a little bit. This keeps you in neutral position. Yeah. All right, bend your knees. Turn the underside of your arms to face up. Allow your shoulders and hips to release and relax into the floor. Leave a little space between your upper chest wall and the top of your arm so you could fit a little tangerine in your armpits. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bring your right ankle onto your left thigh. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Pick your left foot up off the floor. Interlace your fingers beyond the left thigh. Left shin comes parallel to the floor. Now, if this makes your shoulders struggle a little bit to get to your leg, then you can always use a stretch of belt, which will extend the length of your arms a bit. Relax your face, relax your throat, and breathe. Don't stop breathing. Beryl, we're going to give you a little bit under your head since you're off the map there. Stretch and spread your toes, relax your face, relax your throat, and breathe. The inner right thigh rotates to the outer right knee. This is what takes the right leg away from you. It's a rotation of the thigh bone from the inside to the outside, a lateral rotation of the thigh bone. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bring your left foot back down to the floor, releasing your hands. On your next exhalation, bring your right foot back to the floor and pause for a moment. Then take a breath in as you breathe out. Take your left ankle onto your right thigh. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Pick your right foot up off the floor. Interlace your fingers beyond the right thigh. Stretch and spread your toes. Right shin parallel to the floor. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Inner left groin spins to the outer left knee. The toes are stretched and spread. Face soft, breath soft. Good. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bring your right foot back to the floor. On your next exhalation, your left foot back to the floor as well. Now, if your chair is right where your legs are going to be when you bring your legs over to the side. Then move your chair a bit. And if you normally have support between the two knees, do we do just one, Lee, or two?
Yes, that's double.
Extend your arms out to the sides, turning the palms up. Your arms are a little lower than shoulder height. Take a breath in as you breathe out from right where your feet are now. Let your legs come to rest on the floor to the right. So Ed, here's where you would take the blankets between the two knees so that the top leg can rest. And now the spine turns and rotates to the left as the legs release to the right. And the whole of the left side of the body can open and expand. Take the left hip away from the left shoulder. If your shoulder is up off the floor, that's okay, but you might try taking your hand a little bit lower. This has a tendency to allow the shoulder to release. And once again, the left hip moving away from the left shoulder. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Good. Bring your eyes back up to the ceiling. Bring your knees back up over your chest. Hug your knees into your chest for a moment. Then place both feet back onto the floor. Let your legs rest on the floor to the left side of your body. The right chest wall now opens up, right hip moving away from the right shoulder. Good. Bring your eyes back up towards the ceiling and your knees back up over your chest. Hug your knees into your chest. Good. Then place both feet back on the floor. Find your belt, your strap. And do these shorter. Wrap the belt around the arch of your right foot. Stretch both legs out along the floor unless you're having some low back difficulties, then you keep the left knee bent. Roll the inner thighs in and down. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels so the legs are straight. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Lift the right leg up. Keep the left side of the pelvis releasing down into the floor. Relax your face and throat. Keep breathing. The legs should be straight. Doesn't matter how high it is. The legs should be straight. Take the belt in your right hand only. Turn and rotate the right leg in its socket to the right. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bring the right leg up and over to the right, keeping the left side of the pelvis stable. Left thigh releasing down into the floor, and breathe. Relax your face, relax your throat, and breathe. Inhale, bring your leg back up. Bend your left knee. That's the non-belted leg knee. Pick your hips up and move 1 inch to the right. So you're going to pick your hips up off the floor and just move them over 1 inch to the right. Stretch the left leg out straight again, the non-belted leg out straight. Change hands with the belt, so it's in your left hand only. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bring the right leg up and over to the left, coming onto the side seam of your left leg, turning onto the little toe side of your left foot, reaching through both legs. And the same thing happens here as happened in the simpler, easier twist, and that is that the right hip moves away from the right shoulder. So it's the same. This stretches the leg muscles, the hamstring muscles, the quadricep muscles, and also the piriformis muscle. Inhale, bring your right leg back up. Bend your left knee, place your left foot on the floor. Bump your hips back over to the left a little bit to straighten yourself out. Stretch the left leg out straight. Extend and lengthen the right leg back down to the floor. Good, and just pause for a moment. Then slip your left foot into the belt loop, slip your right foot out of the belt loop. Roll your inner thighs in and down. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels. Reach evenly through your inner and outer feet. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Lift the left leg up. Keep the right thigh releasing down into the floor. Good. Take the belt in your left hand only. Turn and rotate the left leg out to the left. So you're not going to make circles. You just turn the leg out to the left, like your knees trying to smile over towards the windows. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bring the left leg up and over to the left. There you go. Keep the right side of the pelvis releasing down into the floor. And breathe. Good, and inhale, bring your leg back up. Bend your right knee, place your right foot on the floor. Pick up your buttock bones and move to the left a little bit. Stretch the right leg out straight again. Change hands with the belt, so the belt's in your right hand. Bring the left leg up and over to the right, crossing the left leg up and over to the right. Reach through both legs and come onto the little toe side of your right foot. Go ahead and let your right foot come down to the floor. The little toe of the right foot is down on the floor. Reach through both legs and come onto the little toe side of your right foot. Go ahead and let your right foot come down to the floor. The little toe of the right foot is down on the floor. Good, and inhale, bring your leg back up. Bend the right knee, place your right foot on the floor, bump your hips back straight, stretch the right non-belted leg out straight along the floor, then the left leg along the floor as well. And just pause for a moment. Okay, bend your knees, roll onto your right side. Use your hands and arms out in front of you to push yourself up to a seated position. And then bring yourself all the way upright. So we'll start with sitting up tall. I'd like you to have your knees directly over your ankles. Shoulders back, lift the breastbone and chest. Take your right hand underneath your right thigh. Bring your foot up off the floor and turn some circles with your foot. Turn in the opposite direction. Take your toes down towards the floor. Take your toes up towards the ceiling. Once more down towards the floor, and once more up towards the ceiling. And then turn some circles with the hip. So we're feeling the thigh bone roll around in the hip socket. Turn in both directions. And then take your ankle onto your thigh. Take the palm of your hand to the sole of your foot. Interlace your fingers with your toes. Try to get them all the way down, webbing to webbing. Hold on to your foot and turn circles with your foot. The harder this is, really, the more you should do it. Turn in both directions. Take your toes towards your shin. Take your toes away from your shin. Do a little twist with the ball of the foot. Stretch and spread your fingers inside your toes. Remove your fingers. Keep the space. Come to your left leg. Take your hands underneath your left thigh. Turn circles with your foot. Turn in both directions. Take your toes down towards the floor, and these might be getting more important for you if the swelling comes back. And up towards the ceiling, and down towards the floor, and up towards the ceiling, and one more time, down towards the floor, and up towards the ceiling. Take your hands under your thigh, turn some circles with the hip. Bring your ankle onto your thigh. Interlace your fingers with your toes. Hold on to your foot and turn circles with your foot. Turn in both directions. Take your toes towards your shin. Take your toes away from your shin. Do a little twist with the ball of the foot. Stretch and spread your fingers inside your toes. Remove your fingers. Keep the space. Good. And then take both feet flat on the floor. Take your hands underneath your right thigh. Bring your leg up. Turn a few circles with the hip. Turn in both directions. Take your ankle onto your thigh. Hold on to your foot. Take your thumb and finger to the base of the big toe. Turn till you get to the top. Go back to the base and turn till you get to the top. Go back to the base and tug. Do all that to all 5 of your toes. Turning in one direction, turning in the other direction, and tugging. Kind of like you're screwing in a little candelabra bulb and then screwing it out again. And a tug. After you've turned each of your toes, stretch and spread the ball of the foot. And run your thumbs down the arches of your foot. If you find any tender spots, spend a little bit more time there. Good. And bring your foot back on the floor, feet parallel. Take your hands under your thigh, turn some circles with the hip. Take your ankle onto your thigh, hold on to your foot. Turn all the way up on one side, turn in the opposite direction, and then tug. Do all 5 of your toes. After you turn each toe, stretch and spread the ball of the foot. And run your thumbs down the arches of your foot. If you find any tender spots, spend a little bit more time there. Good. And then take both feet flat on the floor. Feet parallel, stretch and spread your toes. Make space between each and every toe. Lift your big toes up, leave your little toes down on the floor. If you can lift your big toes up, take your big toes towards each other. Base of the ball, the big toe is down on the floor. The big toes are lifting, the big toes are reaching towards each other. Take your big toes down, back down to the floor. Press your big toes into the floor, lift the 8 little toes up. Try not to draw the outer foot off the floor, just the 8 little toes, and stretch and spread the 8 little toes. Then keep the big toes down, take the baby toes down, and lift the middle 3 up. Stretch and spread the middle 3. You're getting there, Lee. Good, and relax your feet. Give them a little pat on the floor. Thank you, Beryl. Got incredible toes. Take your feet a comfortable distance apart and parallel to each other. And as you consider parallel, draw imaginary lines through your second toes all the way through your feet. And make sure that even miles behind you, those lines would never, ever, ever meet. Stretch and spread your toes. Bring your weight forward a little bit into the balls of your feet. Bring your weight back a little bit into your heels. Go the inside of your feet a little bit, the outside of your feet a little bit, maybe a little sway to the left, sway to the right. So you're going to press into the base of the ball, the big toe, the base of the ball, the little toe, and the inner outer heel. Let the arches of the feet lift up. Draw the leg muscles up. The energy of the shins is in towards the midline and slightly forward. So we don't push the knees back, we do draw the leg muscles up. The inner thighs draw back, the tailbone drops down and in, the front hip bones lift up. There's a drawing into the midline. Collarbones widen and broaden, the shoulders broaden, the head comes back in line with the rest of the spine, and you're in Tadasana, mountain pose. Good, extend the arms out to the sides, turn your palms to face up. Inhale, raise the arms up, shoulders stay down and back away from the ears. Take your palms to face towards front. Take your right hand behind your left. Take a breath in as you breathe out, extend up and over to the right, keeping your left foot firm. Relax your face and throat. Good. Come back to center. Re-engage the upper arm bones down into the shoulder blades. Take the right hand in front of the left. Extend up and over to the left, keeping the right foot firm. Good. Come back to center. Extend the arms out to the sides. Keep the lift and lightness of the breastbone and chest as you release your arms down to your sides. Find your belt. Bring yourself back into Tadasana, mountain pose, feet firm, well balanced on the four corners of the feet. Give yourself a good stretch of belt out in front of you. Make sure the buckle is close to your hand so it's not flailing around. Bring the upper arm bones back into the shoulder blades. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Take the belt up overhead. Shoulders stay down and back away from the ears. Now, as you take the belt back behind you, you're going to be provoked to overarch your low back. Don't do that. Keep the tailbone down and in. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Take the belt back behind you. Take one arm up and one arm down. Head back, chin level. Good. One arm up, one down. Head back, chin level. Good. And the belt back once again. Take one arm up and one arm down. Head back, chin level. Good. One arm up, one down, head back, chin level. Good. And the belt back once again. And then bring the belt back in front of you. Take the belt over your right shoulder. Extend your arms out to the sides. Turn the palms to face up. Inhale, raise the arms up. Shoulders stay down and back away from the ears. Turn the right hand, so the little finger's closest to your chest. This is the belt side. Palm back behind you. Bend at the elbow. Grab the belt where you can. Wave the other arm around a little bit. Go over as far as you can and then up. One elbow down, one elbow up. Relax your face and throat and breathe. And as you grab that belt, you're going to have a tendency to overarch the low back. Rather take the tailbone down and in, and the front hip bones lift up. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Head back, chin level. Good. Release the belt. Shake it out a little bit. Maybe cross your arms over a little bit. Good. Take the belt to the other side. Extend the arms out to the sides. Turn your palms to face up. Inhale, raise the arms up. Shoulders stay down and back away from the ears. Turn the left arm now so the palm faces back behind you, little finger closest to your chest. Bend at the elbow, head back. Bring the arm back, wave the other arm around a little bit. Go back behind you and grab the belt wherever you can. Head back, chin level. You'll be tempted to overarch the low back. That's better, Kevin, but even just a bit more. Not from here. From here. Here you go. Good. Good, and release your arms, shake it out a bit, cross over a little bit. Good. Okay, let's set the belts aside. So stand in front of your chair. So take your chair right behind you. It's a good place for them to be because they're sort of out of the way. Bring one hand out like, give me some money. Bring your fingers on top of your fingers, and you're going to pull your wrist out. Pull the wrist out. So you bend the elbow and you're going to pull the wrist out. And one more time, pull the wrist out and shake out your hand. Second side, like give me some money. Fingers on top of your fingers and pull the wrist out. Pull the wrist out. And pull the wrist out. And one more time, pull the wrist out and shake it out. Good. Take one arm out. Upper arm bone engaged in the shoulder blade. Make a loose fist. Draw your fist up towards your shoulder, but keep your arm straight. Yeah, the arm stays straight. Good. Nod the fist down towards the floor. Open your fingers. Good. Make the loose fist again. Draw the loose fist up. The arm stays straight. Now watch your fist. The elbow's going to bend. Take your fist to your shoulder. Now look at your arm. Take your arm out to the side. You'll be able to hear me. Extend the arm out to the side. Drop your fist down. Drop your fingers down and turn away from your fingers. Good. Bring your eyes back to face center and release your arm. It's an excellent for people who keyboard a lot. Extend the left arm out. Make a loose fist. Drop the fist down. Drop the fingers down. Good. Make a loose fist. Draw the fist up. Keep your eye on your fist. Your elbow's going to bend in a minute. Keep your eye on your fist. Take your fist to your shoulder. Take your elbow out to the side. Extend the arm out to the side. Drop the fist down. Drop the fingers down. Turn away from your fingers. Feel all that connective tissue stretching. Good. Bring your eyes back to center and release your arm. Good. Just for us, bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them go. And shoulders up to your ears and let them go. Stand up tall, head back, chin level. Let your head be a feather floating up and over your right shoulder. Let your jaw relax. You're not pressing or pushing, just letting your head float up over your shoulder. Good. Come back to center. Let your head float skywards and up and over your left shoulder. Relax your face and throat. Good. Come back to center. I want you to pretend there's an orange underneath your chin. Take the crown of the head forward and the shoulders back. And come up to center. And then you interlace your fingers behind your neck and head, your thumbs going down the back of your neck. And you're just going to look up like you're trying to see up towards the stars. Keep the neck long. Good, and come back. Good, and release your arms. So let your head float up and over your right shoulder. And then it's not pulling, it's just the weight of your hand above your left ear. Good, come back to center. Let your head float up and over your left shoulder. And just the weight of your left hand to the top of your right ear. Good, and come back to center. And then take your palm to your forehead like, oh my gosh, I forgot something. Take your head back, press your head into your hands, your hand into your head. And release. Come over to your second side, press your head into your hand, your hands into your head, and release. Interlace your fingers, thumbs extending downwards. Take the thumbs down your neck, the fingers at the base of the skull. We did this once before. Press your head into your hands into your head. And release. Take your chair to the left side of your mat like so. And Kevin and Lee, you all can take your extra seating off your chair. Good, and what we're gonna do is watch for a moment. You'll take hands to either side of the chair seat. You'll step back, bend your knees, roll your buttock bones up, send the heels towards the floor. For some of you with strong legs, that might mean your knees are bent. But what I am looking for is the spine not to be rounded, but the spine to be long. Okay? Turn to face your chair seat. Take your hands to the chair seat. Step back with both feet, feet parallel. Bend your knees. Roll the ischial tuberosities up to the ceiling. So you're going to step back till your heels are on the non-skid mat. Bend your knees a little bit, Ed. So we're trying to get that thoracic spine to drop down into the body. Now breathe into my hand. Come right into my hand. Lift the sitting bones. Extend the spine. Breathe. Good. Keep that side lifted and breathe into this side of your spine. Good, and gently walk yourself forward. Lift your head up last. Watch for a minute. We're gonna have our feet hidden by the chair seat. So your toes will be underneath the chair seat. You won't be able to see them. You're gonna bring your hands onto the chair seat. You'll step back with your left leg. Your right knee will stay right over your right ankle and we'll be here in a lunge. When you come out of this, you take a little step in, another little step in, and then walk yourself in, okay? So make it so that your feet are hidden by the chair seat. Stand up tall, bring your hands to the chair seat. Step back with your left leg. Let the hips drop low, but lift the back leg up. So your foot is a little farther away from, there you go, you got it. Stretch the sole of the left foot back behind you rather than towards the floor if that's possible. Good, shoulders stay up onto the back side of the body and you're breathing. Relax your face and throat, keep breathing. Good, take a little step in with the back foot. Then a bigger step in, and then walk yourself forward. Bring yourself all the way upright for a moment. Feet hidden by the chair seat, feet parallel to each other. That's right, Ed, turn your heels out a little bit more, please. Bring your hands onto the chair seat. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Take the right leg back. Come onto the ball of the right foot. Left knee stays directly over the left ankle. If you can, let your hips drop down. Shoulders back. That's right, Ann, thank you. And breathe. Relax your face, relax your throat, and breathe. Good, take a little step in with the back foot, then another little step, and then a bigger step in, and bring yourself upright. Turn to face your chair seat. Take your hands to the chair seat. Step back with both feet, feet parallel. Bend your knees, roll the ischial tuberosities up to the ceiling. So we're trying to get that thoracic spine to drop down into the body. Inner thighs come back, outer hips come back, inner kneecaps come back, outer kneecaps come back, inner ankles draw back. Outer ankles draw back, and you're breathing. So the spine and the integrity of the spine, the length of the spine we work with first, then we work on taking the legs back, keeping that length in the spine. Lift the sitting bones, extend the spine, breathe. Good, and gently walk yourself forward. Lift your head up last. Turn yourself to face in this direction and bring your chair out in front of you with your chair legs on the non-skid mat. So we will take the feet out wide distance apart. You're going to spin the legs out to the right. The right leg will turn out 90 degrees, the back foot in 15, 30 degrees. You can line up heel to heel. That's the first position. Eventually you'll line up heel to the arch of the foot. You'll have the chair in front of you, your shoulders back. We'll take a breath in. As you breathe out, we'll bend the front knee and bring the front thigh towards parallel to the floor. If you're doing okay here, we'll extend the arms out and turn and look over the fingertips. Coming back up, bring your hands back to the top of the chair, feet parallel, and we'll walk the feet together. So take your feet wide distance apart and parallel to each other. Spin the legs to the right, right leg turning out 90 degrees, back foot turning in 15, 30 degrees. Try and keep your torso facing forward. See if this helps, Ed. with your hands onto the chair back, torso facing forward. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bend the front knee. The front thigh comes parallel to the floor. The tailbone drops down and in. The front hip bones lift up. Try to avoid leaning to the right. Keep your torso upright. So this stays upright. And now bend the knee. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? If you're doing okay here, extend the arms out to the sides. Extending from the core center of your body out through your fingertips, out through your feet. Turn and look over your right fingertips. Don't let the gaze of your eyes pull you forward. Good. Bring your hands back to the top of the chair. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Straighten the front leg. Bring your feet to face front. And then we'll turn to the second side. So now the left leg will turn out 90 degrees. Right foot turns in 15, 30 degrees. Hands to the top of the chair. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bend the front knee. Front thigh comes parallel to the floor. Good. Good on the torso, Ed. I love that. You're keeping up right. Tailbone drops down and in. Front hip bones lift up. If you're doing okay here, you're balanced. Extend the arms out to the sides. You can keep a hand on the chair if that's right for you today. Turn and look out over your left fingertips. Virabhadrasana Dvi, Warrior Two pose, strong and steady, solid and stable. Good, take your hands back to the top of the chair. Take a breath in as you breathe out, straighten the front leg. Bring your feet to face front. Now take your chair off the non-skid mat. Take your feet parallel to each other. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Push the chair out in front of you. Feet parallel. Lengthen the chair out in front of you. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Let the spine between the shoulder blades drop down and in. Kevin, you actually need to come up a little bit into this space. There you go. Let your head relax. Good. You're already breathing into this side, aren't you? Did you just tell me what I wanted to hear? Or what? You really were, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, hon. This opens up.
I do this one at home.
Yeah, and your spine gets much straighter when you're breathing up into this space. You straighten your spine that way. Gently bring the chair back towards you. Bring your chair legs back onto the non-skid mat and walk your feet back together. Tadasana mountain pose. The chair will go out to your right and your feet will go wide distance, as wide as you can go and still be stable. The legs will spin out to the right. Right from the hips, we take that shift. You'll take your hand to the top of the chair and lengthen out over the chair. Okay? Just stay there first. Okay, so take your chair out to the right. You're gonna stand really close to the right side of your non-skid mat. So you're gonna make sure that your right foot is close to the end of the non-skid mat. Good, spin the legs to the right. Bring your hands right where the groin meets up into the pelvis. This is not your hips, it's lower, it's where your leg opening would be. Take a breath in as you breathe out, shift the hips to the left. Bring your hand to the top of the chair. Take your hand to the top of the chair and slide the chair out. Shift from the hips, shift over to the left. The front leg stays straight, so you're bending your front knee head. There you go. Good, now turn and rotate the underside of the rib cage, the right side of the rib cage to come forward and up. Bring the left arm back Good. Take your top arm up if you'd like. Good. And bring your top arm up, Lee. Your left arm up. Yeah. Beryl, take your hand to your shin if you're comfortable with it. Good. Everyone, take your hand back to the chair top if you took it away, and slide the chair back towards you. Good. Bring yourself so that your feet face front. Walk your feet back together. Good. And then get your chair and bring it around to the other side. Take your feet wide distance apart and parallel to each other with the left foot close to the edge of the mat. Take your hands into the groin line where the legs meet up into the pelvis. This is not your waist. It's not really near where your t-shirt ends. It's more where your leg opening is. If you had a Speedo bathing suit on, it's where the leg openings would be. Had your Speedo on lately, Jess? Spin the left leg out 90 degrees. Bring your back foot in 30 degrees. Shift from the hips, shift over to your right. Lengthen up and over your left leg. Take your hand to the top of the chair and slide the chair out. Roll the top right shoulder up and back. Good. And Lee, if you'll take your hand to your shin again, roll the top shoulder up and lift up, and Beryl, you as well. Whoever wants to. Take your top hand back onto your hip. Take your bottom hand back to the top of the chair and slide the chair back. Take your feet to face front. Can you slide the chair around front? Take both hands to the top of the chair. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Slide the chair forward. Good, and then gently and easily slide the chair back towards you. Bring your chair legs back onto your non-skid mat and walk your feet together. Take your chair onto your non-skid mat to the right with the back of the chair towards your right leg. So bring your weight and attention into your right leg, the leg next to the back of the chair. Have your right hand touching the chair. Lift the left foot up. And all you have to do is just lift the left foot up a little bit. See if you can find your balance there. If not, don't worry. Good, and place your foot back onto the floor. Bring your chair around to the other side. Feet parallel. Bring your weight and attention into your left leg. Lift the right foot up. And just see, sometimes one side's easier than the other, but just see if you can find your balance here. Good, and release. And bring your chair back over to the right. Stand up tall, mountain pose, feet parallel to each other. Shoulders back, head back. Take your hand to the top of the chair. When you're ready, pick up your foot. Maybe your foot will be on your shin. It just should not be on your kneecap. Maybe you'll go a little higher. It's up to you. Toes should be pointing down towards the floor. If you find your balance, you can take your hands away from the chair. If you don't worry about it. Or maybe you go one arm up and one hand to the chair. It's up to you. No big deal either way. Good, and release. Bring yourself back to both feet on the ground, both hands down. Good, then take your chair over to your left. Bring your weight and your attention into your left leg, especially the inside of the left leg. That's what needs to stay connected. Bring the right foot up. Take the right foot wherever it will go to the inner left leg. See if you can find your balance. Maybe you just have one arm up and one arm down. That's fine too. Good, and release. Bring your foot and your hands back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Turn to face your chair seat. Take your hands to the chair seat. Step back with both feet, feet parallel. Bend your knees, roll the ischial tuberosities up to the ceiling. So we're trying to get that thoracic spine to drop down into the body. Inner thighs come back, outer hips come back, inner kneecaps come back, outer kneecaps come back, inner ankles draw back, outer ankles draw back, and you're breathing. So the spine and the integrity of the spine, the length of the spine we work with first, then we work on taking the legs back, keeping that length in the spine. Lift the sitting bones, extend the spine, breathe. Good, and gently walk yourself forward. Lift your head up last. Take your feet a comfortable distance apart and parallel to each other. And as you consider parallel, draw imaginary lines through your second toes all the way through your feet. And make sure that even miles behind you, those lines would never, ever, ever meet. Stretch and spread your toes. Bring your weight forward a little bit into the balls of your feet. Bring your weight back a little bit into your heels. Go the inside of your feet a little bit, the outside of your feet a little bit, maybe a little sway to the left, sway to the right. So you're going to press into the base of the ball, the big toe, the base of the ball, the little toe, and the inner outer heel. Let the arches of the feet lift up. Draw the leg muscles up. The energy of the shins is in towards the midline and slightly forward. So we don't push the knees back, we do draw the leg muscles up. The inner thighs draw back, the tailbone drops down and in, the front hip bones lift up. There's a drawing into the midline. Collarbones widen and broaden, the shoulders broaden, the head comes back in line with the rest of the spine, and you're in Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, come into a relaxed position. So some of you like to put your legs up on a chair seat. Some of you like to be flat, and we're gonna do side laying relaxation for you. So I would like you to maybe put some socks on or some overclothing if you're at all cool, or get a blanket to put over top of you if you're at all cool. If you usually take support under your head, you'll take support under your head. So bring yourself on down to the floor and make yourself comfortable. You can be on the roll if you would like. So let your eyes close. Allow your eyes to release and relax away from the front of your skull. Allow the space between your eyebrows to release and relax. Allow some space between your upper and lower teeth to release and relax your jaw. Allow your mouth to release and relax the roof of the mouth, the floor of the mouth, the inner right cheek, the outer right cheek, the inner left cheek, the outer left cheek. Allow your tongue to release and relax in the lower palate. And if you can imagine, even your gums and your teeth releasing. Allow your ears to release and relax, and take your sense of hearing inward. Let all the muscles of facial expression release and relax so that your face becomes expressionless. Allow your throat to release and relax. You may need to swallow to do that. The flesh and skin of the skull releases and relaxes away from the bones of the skull. The throat relaxed, the shoulders releasing into the support of the floor, over the blankets. Find and feel your breath. Notice your breath as it comes into your body. Sense and feel. Notice your breath as it leaves your body. Not making any sorts of judgments or deliberate changes. Just noticing, sensing, feeling, watching your breath as it comes and as it goes. Very interesting process because it's a self-study, this observation of the breath. You are the observer and that which is being observed. And each time you breathe out, allow yourself to release and let go a little bit more. The arms release and relax, the upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms of the hands, backs of the hands, all 10 fingers releasing. Each exhalation allowing the spine to release more and more as the front of the body is open and spacious and expansive. The buttocks and hips release and relax. Bones of the pelvis releasing into the floor. The legs releasing and letting go into the support of the floor, the support of the chair or blankets. Thighs, the tops of the thighs, the backs of the thighs, the inner and outer thighs releasing and letting go, the backs of the knees, fronts of the knees, inner and outer knees releasing, the calves and shins letting go, released. The ankles releasing and letting go, the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, and all 10 toes releasing and letting go. And continue to follow the rhythm and pattern, the sound and feel of your own breath. This is your own life rhythm, oxygen, energy, life breath. This process of turning your attention inward, facilitated by observing the breath, allows you to come away from the surface, away from all those things outside of you that you cannot control. It allows you to begin to find your sense of peace, your sense of tranquility from within, which is really the only reliable source for peace and tranquility. Your breath is always with you until you leave this world. It's a very valuable practice to just spend some time observing the breath, allowing yourself to release with each exhalation. And just allow yourself to rest here for these few moments, not doing, but just being, just breathing. And then bend your knees, wiggling fingers and toes. Bring your attention back to the surface. You might take a deeper and a longer breath and let it go. Bend your knees. If your feet are behind the chair seat, you might point your toes a little bit. Roll onto your side, your right side, and stay there for a moment. That's right, Beryl. You'll come up and over. And then once you can get the roll out from underneath you, lie flat for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can roll to your side. You use your hands and arms to bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. You can come up into your chair. You can just turn yourself around, maybe sit up on your blankets a little bit. Sit up tall. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, Namaste position. Let your eyes close, let your head release so that the gaze of the eyes, if they were open, would be downwards. And then gently open your eyes. And as you're ready, lift your head. Okay, thank you all very much for attending. There's a traditional greeting at the end of a yoga class. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day and a good week. Thank you all for coming to class.